Hello there, I'm Shane Stalter and I teach the engineering courses here at Monarch High School. This semester I have the advanced courses, both the design and manufacturing course and the engineering and design. They are mixed classes, so we'll have students from both classes mixed into one class. This gives us a good variety of those who are running the machines and those who are designing. This is my 21st year of teaching. I am a technology education major. So this is exactly what I went to school for 20 some years ago. I went to school at the University of Northern Iowa in Cedar Falls, Iowa. I am a second generation industrial arts / technology education teacher. My dad was an automotive teacher. So I grew up in the metal shop, the auto body shop, his auto shop, just growing up building things and being around equipment. And I love to be around equipment. I love to build. I like working with tools. I like to think I'm somewhere between a Tim the Toolman Taylor and his assistant Al Borland. And then the foundation of these courses is going to be with SolidWorks. So students that are in remote learning are going to have a heavy dose of SolidWorks because that's what works best. But what SolidWorks provides us is access to our computer controlled equipment, our CNC, computer numeric controlled equipment. So what we can do is we can design things in a 3D model, then we can take it to appropriate machines and use those electronic files. So instead of like working off a set of plans where you're measuring things and going to a table saw or a bandsaw, which we have that equipment too, the idea is to make precision parts in a computer-aided manufacturing type of concept where they can produce high quality, high precision parts on our lasers, on our routers, 3D prints. So some of the things that they're going to see in the class is we have design challenges. I love this one. This is a 2-liter bottle rocket that we can 3D print the fins, laser cut the fins. We can 3D print the nose cones. I even have a vacuum former. So when they make a nose cone that makes sense, like a parabolic nose cone, they can heat up plastic and it'll basically, the vacuum will suck that around tight so we can have a mass-produced nose cones instead of having to 3D print them. We're going to cover this here is a VEX-controlled robot, and they're going to learn some programming and how to run some control systems. I have some traditional staple projects that get kids familiar with the equipment. This one, they'll use a combination of the laser cutter and the CNC router. They'll laser cut the C and the sun, and then they'll make an indentation or a pocket with the CNC router. This was a project, a student who wanted to work with childhood prosthetics because they outgrow their prosthetics so fast. This is a device that would clamp on below the knee onto a calf where they're amputated below the knee. It's upside down, obviously, and then they actually had a PVC pipe that went into a type of a boot that could be adjustable as kids grow. 3D printed nose cones. Students are going to be challenged in a lot of different, just this one here is just to make a spaghetti structure, just a 1-day, 1-hour activity. I want them to be hands-on when they come in the classroom because frankly, they've been spending a lot of time on the computer, and normally we do that in here, but I'd rather just do that at home and bring them in so they can actually apply their skills. Here are some examples of the robots that we build. Most of these are Arduino driven. We do a lot with VEX as well. And this one has a ultrasonic sensor up here. It can actually do obstacle avoidance, kind of like what we see in cars today. And you'll learn how to program. Here's just a scene from the pits of a first robotics competition. Here's our team down here. As far as robotics competitions go, that's a pretty big deal. That's the after class course, or not course, but it's an activity that we can do. All kids are welcome to join it. It's pretty competitive. Last year we started making a couple of guitars. Here's one that we actually finished last year or 2 years ago. They can CNC route out the base and make all the pockets for the electrical. And the kids are buying the strings and the things that make an electric guitar, but we're doing a lot of the machining that we can do in here on those. Kids are going to get a lot of introduction to tool use. Here's our router. You guys have all probably seen a sign similar to that. 3D printing. Here's a chessboard some students made in the past. Again, the Colorado board. Here's a mass production piece of that. if in the advanced classes, the students can come up with a project that's based around something in our classroom that's feasible. I totally entertain it. Right, here's some architectural piece, some octagonal tables, just a lot of troubleshooting. Students are going to be working with, coming up with ideas, and they're new to engineering, so a lot of things are going to fail, and they need to be comfortable with that, because that's what engineering is all about, is you fail a lot, and then you keep designing until you have a really good design that's ready to be marketed, right? Here's just some use of the laser cutter / again, there's a pocket in there cut out on the router. This is an example of a toolbox. I got about 30 of these sitting outside my door that were left over from last year. They draw them up in SolidWorks, and they cut these pieces out on the CNC, and they assemble them. And the idea is getting that idea out of your head onto paper or on the computer and being able to make these things. Okay. On the website, I have more information about the classes that I do teach. This will be updated. They're doing some course changes right now. Primarily, I'll teach the Introduction to Engineering Design. That's the first level. And then Design and Manufacturing. And then Engineering Design and Development. These classes are weighted at 5.0. So if you're a parent or a student who's concerned with a GPA, when you get an A in this class, you get a 5.0. If you get a B in this class, you get a 4.0. Right? So keep that in mind. This is a link off of the school webpage. And off the school webpage as well as my contact information. Here's my phone number and my email. Email works best. My phone is in a different room, basically. So if it rings, most times I do not get to it. Email, if you do leave a message, it will email me that as well. So that's a pretty good little piece of technology, because it sends it right to my email. Phone, again, I would just go ahead and email me, and I'm usually pretty good. I've been getting really good at sending lots and lots of emails. I've sent more emails in the last 9 months of teaching than I probably have in the first 21. Okay, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Or if you have project ideas, or if you have post-secondary hookups, I really focus on trying to get these kids ready for the next level. So SolidWorks certification exams are something that I require them to take. It is in the freshman year at CU Boulder and Colorado State University and Colorado School of Mines, students will have to pass their CSWA SolidWorks proficiency exam. And students that have already done that, most of those professors will give them an A for their final. So, yeah, there's freshmen in here, 14-year-olds that are passing their CSWA. I even had some 14, 15-year-olds pass their CSWP, maybe one or two. But a lot of the seniors, we probably have about 20 students that have their CSWP, which is the professional certification for people who are working in 3D modeling industries for a significant amount of time, right? So those are very important to me. It's very important to the program, and it's probably the most tangible credential they can get coming out of my class. Getting an A in Mr. Stalter's class isn't really a requirement for any jobs. However, if you go on to LinkedIn or Career Builder or Monster Jobs, they'll specify CSWA certification or CSWP certification, and that's what employers are looking for. Okay, and that's entry level. Obviously, if you're going to be an engineer, you're going to have to go those 4 years, and your focus better be on math and science. And I'm, pretty open about that. Most college programs do not require an elective in engineering. They're going to want to see those math and science scores, especially on the SAT. Okay, well, that's my spiel. I'm Mr. Stalter, and feel free to get a hold of me. And welcome to Monarch, and let's have a good semester. Goodbye.